Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Normal World. I'm Dave Landau.
I am Black Garrett, and with us is our producer, Angela.
What up? Thank you. Appreciate that.
Tonight, I will be at a show that you can't watch because you're watching this.
Too late. You should have listened to us yesterday when we said go get the tickets and go watch, but
That's right.
Didn't, so
I will be at Cap City Comedy Club, though, in Austin, Texas this weekend. You should come out.
you should.
You should. And just to cut right to it, we have people to thank.
Oh, we do.
Yes.
We would like to thank Sarah and Eric. We got some fans. QB, show them what they made.
Check out this shirt Sarah and Eric did. It's a beautiful shirt. The best quality from our fans. Thank you so much.
Look at that.
Sent all of us shirts, the whole crew, not just the ones on screen, but the comedy crew and the backstage and everything. What else?
They sent us this awesome card from them. This is their likeness, I believe.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And little, I'm going to say shot glasses. A little black Santa shot glasses.
Cups.
I haven't put my Christmas deco back, so it's going to go there nice and safe for the whole year.
You can put some nog in there.
Can.
You guys know those are collectors now.
Oh, they absolutely
You
are.
can't find them.
They're
Yeah.
taking them off the shelves. We're in a new era.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, what's up with that? Are we going to go to like Asian Santa now?
I hope so.
I'm down.
I wouldn't know.
A nice jolly.
I don't see
Samurai.
color or race. I've always been that way, though.
Oh, okay.
I guess
very
it's up to
noble
you
of you.
guys.
Very woke.
Well, it just, if you guys want to, I see people as people. Unless they've robbed me and I have to describe them.
I only see people that like and subscribe to this channel, so I see all you guys in the chat right there. Thank you so much. Two-Tone, I see you in the chat. I respect you. Thank you so much.
Our first guest tonight is a friend of Joey Gladstone. Please welcome to the show, a beaver.
Flew down from Canada.
Really appreciate it. Sorry about the big C.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You could be an American one day.
Yep.
Might be soon.
He's here to get his passport. And I said, are you going to get it? And he goes, damn right.
He's so funny.
Thank you. Thank you all.
All right,
Thank you.
good.
I wrote that 5 days ago.
Just waiting for the moment.
And also joining us tonight, you may know him from Gerard vs. Evil, as well as he's a comedian.
Yeah.
He's an actor.
Oh.
And he's also a former baseball player. Please welcome Gerard Michaels.
Oh, I didn't know you were a baseball player.
And I hear on the
Neither
street-
did the team that was supposed to be paying me.
Yeah, he played baseball.
Hey.
Yeah,
for the Caucasians.
I did. I played for the St. Louis Cardinals, and then the what would this be? This would be the Hamptons Caucasians.
Oh, you played for the Cardinals?
yeah,
I
they all
played for the
did.
Cardinals.
Yeah,
In Little League.
So did I. I played for the Reds.
So well.
nice.
You did. You played for real.
Barely though. Just barely.
What'd you play? Shortstop?
Thank you. Thank you for not seeing. He doesn't see color. You don't see weight. Thank you.
Oh.
I was a catcher.
Were you?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, not a lot has changed.
No.
I see what you did there.
I see. Were you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You have
More of
like
a hitter.
massive calves for that.
Yeah.
A
Yep.
lot of power in those calves.
Yeah.
You are probably a good hitter, aren't you?
I was. I could hit.
Yeah, my son's training with a guy who's a pro now. I forget what team he's going on, but he's doing really well.
Awesome, man. You don't know that what team your son plays for, David?
No, I know what team he's on.
Oh.
I'm just not going to share it publicly. But no, the guy who coaches him just got picked up for professional.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah.
Rican?
Yeah, the absolute best years of my life. If anybody gets a chance to play pro sports, you take it from me. You should do it.
I'll give it a whirl.
Yeah, you can.
There's probably a good chance I'm going to make it.
Yeah, especially
Women's
if you identify as a chick these days. Yeah. I'm just waiting for the WNBA to make above minimum wage, and I'm gonna
Get right in there.
yeah, I'll do the whole Juana man, which unfortunately, I've been begging for conservatives to make movies, and they made one about that, and now I just think we got to give it back to the liberals.
Yeah. It turns out we didn't have to make that at all. No. How could you make a movie like Juana Man with less heart?
I got an idea. What is it? I want to make a 90-minute, 3-minute sketch.
Yeah. It's a team of them, though.
You get the joke? Yeah, right at the beginning.
All right. Okay, so now that plays the whole time? Correct.
Yes.
It's the same one. Who's the underdog? There's not one.
No.
It's the people we bully the whole time.
Yeah. Right?
The smart kids.
It'll be funny. And then like 45 minutes of just us telling you exactly how to think.
Yeah.
It's great.
It'll be good.
So are you like a parody of your... No.
No, I'm serious.
No.
Do we learn anything along the way?
Not really. Hate.
Perfect.
Stereotypes. We prove ourselves as the villain.
Yes.
It's pretty good. It's a laugh riot. Yeah. Every comic I know who's in it is really proud of it.
Oh, yes.
Oh, God.
That's former baseball player.
Yes. Oh, inside baseball, which
Inside
is coincidence. Look at
A
that.
little inside baseball. Speaking of sadness, I guess it's going off of his stroke. That he, I don't know how to get into this. I just feel very bad. It is. California is unfortunately on fire, starting the Pacific Palisades, I guess, from possibly a backyard.
Yeah.
It has spread now, going towards Los Angeles. All over, there's houses burning down. The mayor of L.A., Karen Bass, who's garbage, cut $17 million from the fire department, so the hydrants ran out of water last night, and then she never refilled the water reservoirs, which they need because California is very, dry and.
Yes.
Has fires all the time.
Yeah, they're like very
Yeah, it's sort of one of those things that you might want to have a backup plan
It's like a well-known fact.
But in
or a
fairness,
plan.
she did run on the platform of more migrants, less hydrants. So
Well, there you go.
We should have
campaign
known.
promises made, campaign
true.
promises kept.
Yeah, and Gavin Newsom, great guy.
Yeah. Top notch. Knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
A lot of hairspray up there.
Oh yeah, Trump tweeted about it actually. What do we have, Angela?
He said, Governor Gavin Newsom refused to sign the water restoration declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snowmelt from the north to flow daily into many parts of California, including the areas that are currently burning in a virtually apocalyptic way. He wanted to protect an essentially worthless fish called a smelt by giving it less water. It didn't work, but didn't care about the people of California. Now, the ultimate price is being paid. I will demand that this incompetent governor allow beautiful, clean, fresh water to flow into California, all caps. He is the blame for this. On top of it all, no water for fire hydrants, not firefighting planes. A true disaster.
That's crazy.
People wanted him to be president. And he couldn't, yes, and they couldn't foresee. This is a guy who couldn't foresee a wildfire in California.
They wanted him to be president while he was being recalled in California. You can't make any sense of anything going on out there.
Criminal negligence.
Yes, it is. Honestly.
He looks pretty.
It is.
That's the reason. He looks pretty.
Well, and didn't you? I think we were talking before the show.
The governor went to Ghana. She left.
Well, the mayor.
Yeah,
mayor,
sorry.
you're
He
right.
is the governor. The mayor. She went to Ghana. She left the country.
So she's not
Isn't
even.
Ghana a shithole country? But it's better than LA
Then
right
she.
now.
I don't know why she. I don't even know why she's there.
And also,
I don't even know if it's better than LA right now. If I
Honestly,
remember.
I've been there.
Where's
I went there
Ghana
last week.
West Africa.
also the head of their fire department is like, I hate to use this term, but an all-time DEI hire. She looks like a Melissa McCarthy character.
It's kind of wild with the New Year's Eve attack and then the Cybertruck that we'll talk about a little bit later. We're getting like the DEI examples of what they can do. We're seeing like the FBI version of that, and then the head of police or what they can't do. Yeah. Like, this is ridiculous to cut that much money from the fire department in a state that is well known for catching fire. That seems malicious.
Yeah, well, I just hope that while she's in Ghana, the locals do not soak a tire in gasoline and make her wear it as a necklace. That would be
She's
I believe
there.
that's
ironic.
I believe that's the actual Mandela effect.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, she is there celebrating the inauguration of Ghana President John Mahama.
Oh, good.
So very
Much more
important.
important.
Much important.
Yeah,
yes.
for a
You
mayor?
Yeah, you want to make sure you get there
Mayor of LA.
Why are we sending the mayors out to
These
other
sister
countries?
cities or something, like I saw that on Parks and Rec once.
Is that before somebody takes his head off with a machete? I don't know. I'm not saying that all the countries in Africa are the same, but a lot of them.
That's all I hear.
It's almost like parliamentary politics. It's 6 weeks from now the civil war starts.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't last long.
That's why you got to go. That's what the mayor was saying.
To get there before it shuts down.
So instead of being in the place that's on fire and helping people, she's helping Idi Amin get
Sworn in.
have some cake.
She's like, I was here for Kofi 2012.
It seems suspicious
Yeah.
to go to another continent.
Well,
I think just like cancel your plans.
Well, it's also like what QB was saying before, like on a certain level that the DEI is exposing itself in our government. Like you used to be able to do terrorist attacks and assassinations as part of our deep state and get away with it. Like it would take us as the community 50 years before we were like, I don't know. But now it's like almost immediate. We're like, I feel like the government had something to do with this.
Getting sloppy.
Yeah.
It's really sloppy. Well, let's get. I want to show this real quick too before we get into all of that. James Woods sent out a tweet. Angela, could you just read that real quick, please?
I took this last night from our beautiful little home in the Palisades. Now all the fire alarms are going off at once remotely. It tests your soul, losing everything at once, I must say.
Really sad.
Yeah, I got a lot of friends there too. It's a scary situation. I hope you all get out safe.
And it is a hard thing, like, you know, empathy wise, because you argue with people from LA and like their lifestyle and all this other stuff so much. But at the end of the day, we are all on the same team.
Yes.
And we are all in this thing, whether we like it or not, together.
Yeah.
And, you know, nobody should have to go through this. And nobody, regardless of what you think of their lifestyle, their politics, whatever, losing everything in a inferno because of somebody else's negligence is something that nobody in the United States of America should be forced to deal with.
Especially with politicians, people that are paid an insane amount of money like they are in California. The taxes there are nuts. Yeah. And then you actually see this footage of these wildfires and the houses burning, and then the camera moves and there's an ocean.
Yeah.
It's like we can't get A to B.
No, but it's okay though, because our government will send them all $700 once it's all set.
Oh, you think they're
so, you know, good.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they will get a gift card, and then it will take forever for the insurance companies to reimburse them.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still rebuilding, by the way. North Carolina still rebuilding.
Oprah
it's a nightmare.
Oprah will have, you know, some sort of fundraiser, get $25. So, you know, so who cares? You know, has anybody ever found the kids in Maui? Or, you know what?
It's not important. Oprah has checked and safe, though. Her house is A-OK in L.A. in case anybody's worried. For some reason, there's blue paint on the roof.
Yeah, does that work in California too, or is that just
We're
a Hawaii
about to
thing?
find
That was
out.
a sky laser thing.
I bet you it does. I bet you. Let's just find out if anything happens to Oprah's L.A. house.
When there's one homeless guy that survives and he looks like Tobias Funke, we're going to be like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
See.
Yeah, that's going to be a real issue. Those tents are not flame retardant.
Oh, no. They are not.
I've read it on there. I've always like, do these catch fire? And they're like, yeah.
Possibly.
I'm surprised you asked.
Well, it's really, again, another conspiracy. Flammable and inflammable means the same thing.
Yes.
How's that? Like, I thought that this was inflammable.
Yes. And turns out it is.
What?
It's true, though.
It is.
It's a topsy-turvy world. And honestly, I hope everybody there is good. I talked to my friend last night who's a producer. I hope he's okay. He was yesterday. I talked to our former booker as well.
Talked to Chris Gore. He lives in Pasadena. Luckily, he lives in the suburbs.
He's all right now, then.
Yeah, he's off in the suburbs. It's all happening to like the $1 million homes. So he's okay at least. Which is good.
Yeah, dude, that's, I mean,
Scary.
those houses you're looking at like 50 million.
Yeah.
It's rough. Dude. Have you seen the cars that are bulldozing?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, stop.
Did you see the video
They're
of
so nice.
two guys in the house where their backyard is like 20-foot tall flames?
Yeah.
Like, what is happening? How are you not out of there?
I just hope that they let the children chained in the basement out at some point.
I doubt.
This could be their chance.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Well, if Dan Schneider's house goes up, they're going to find a lot of tiny bones.
The foot hot tub should be good.
A lot of gack.
the real foot-shaped
Real one.
pool. He's probably just like, the good news is that won't burn. It's filled with water.
That was a close one. Almost
I
lost
can
his
still
toes.
swim in a child's foot
Still not. Okay.
while I make Nickelodeon gack.
Yeah, we should have known. We should have known about that, man.
Gosh. The
lot of
signs
signs.
were always
Oh, no,
there.
we all
We're all there.
knew.
I was a little kid. I was just like, this looks fun. I want to go to
Camp
Florida.
Alana?
Yeah, that'd be a good audition.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. Who are you reading for? All right, take off your shoes. Hannah
Just
Montana.
catch up on your toes and lick them off. It's for a joke.
I go back to where were the parents during all of this?
They're
They
garbage.
don't care.
They weren't there. The ones that did get away unscathed is because their parents were there. Like Jaleel White, he says that his mom was on set every single day he was on set. And that's why he
And
never
McLovin.
It was like, parents, don't leave your kids unattended where there's adults. I think it's just easy.
So funny that you mentioned that, and then like they talk about, oh, it was a helicopter parent. They never let their kid, their sweet child, alone on set.
Yeah. That's why we're helicopter parents.
It's a reason.
Because we now know why you should be.
Yeah, it's a good thing to be a helicopter
Could
parent.
you imagine somebody molesting Urkel?
Oh.
I mean, I'm just saying,
Yeah, I
like,
do that.
just sitting there on the side of the set, just like,
It is a sexy character.
just loving how he's like, I love those high pants.
Probably not Urkel,
Suspenders make me go crazy.
but Stefan Urkel definitely.
Now, when I
was.
pull it out, I want you to ask if it's made of cheese.
It'll be silly.
It'll be funny. Is that made of cheese? Eat it. Eat the cheese, Urkel.
Now put on this blindfold and milk this cow. Sorry.
What have you done to her?
I was always like
She
this.
was just as bad as me.
It really is that way.
There's nothing wrong with
I'm a pure
Steve
soul.
Urkel milking a cow blind. It was on their special episode. They visited.
Very special.
They visited Dude Ranch.
Show me on the Urkel doll where he touched you. Oh!
A dude's ranch.
Why'd they name the cow Carl Winslow? That was weird.
Yeah, he's sitting there.
Well, that wouldn't be him. He's
He's just painted most of his body white. He's got like various spots.
I was a diehard.
Yes, I was. He took off his shoes too, like you're about to. Have you ever swam in a foot, Urkel?
How do you feel about feet play?
My name's Jaleel. Talk like Urkel.
Put on the voice.
Now don't talk with your mouth full. All right, so with the government,
Yeah.
nasty,
Nasty government.
nasty. So this Vegas Cybertruck bomber.
Yes.
I'm
Who?
sure you've heard of it. The Vegas Cybertruck bomber, Matthew Livelsberger.
I believe that's pretty close. That's like 90,
Livelsberger.
yeah.
Livelsbergers?
Livelsberger?
Yeah, Livelsberger.
It went by Berg.
Matthew, apparently his vile marriage secrets have come out, and I think that this in no way was hired press just to start putting stuff out.
Well, this is one of the first things that came out about him from internal, what is it, public affairs.
What?
It's public
Internal
affairs.
Affairs investigates police.
Public affairs reached out to several content creators and were like basically saying how he was as a operator, and he was a good man and all this stuff, and maybe possibly there was some infidelity, and they were like floating this stuff out super
So
early.
his public affairs uncovered a public affair.
Yeah.
That's what they
It was the
it's
government's
in the
public
name.
affair.
Yeah, it was like his commanding officers.
They were floating
Law
this
and
stuff
order
out.
noise. would have been
Essentially,
great
the PO, from what I've been told, is it's like the military's version of a publicist, and they're
Exactly,
there,
yeah.
So they're there doing kind of cover for the guy's CEOs, and they're like, hey, just Sean Ryan, before you run this crazy insane thing that's totally not true, this guy's wife had a kid that's not his, right?
Yeah.
And also
DNA doesn't match.
hate to be this guy, but there's a thing called a Jody. You guys know what a Jody is?
Yes, I do. It's when
Yeah.
that guy goes off to war, and then, thanks to Marvin Cease, I know exactly.
So-
What is a Jody?
When a man goes off to war, a man comes in and takes advantage of the wife.
It's a very particular type of guy who hangs out around bases and knows when the wife is getting
So
the
pathetic.
husband is getting deployed, and then he's like, have you ever seen the movie 300? The dude from The Wire is Jody.
yeah.
Right? So-
Remember the Marvin Cease song "Candy Liquor"?
Oh,
I'm your candy
how
liquor.
could I forget?
Yeah, I
girl.
can't forget that.
That's why at the end he starts going, "Who's Jody? I'm Jody."
Oh, he's a prowler.
Yeah, he's a prowler. For women.
Prowler, perfect.
I'm your candy
So-
liquor girl.
The Jody trope exists for a reason, and if guys coming home to find out that their wife had a kid that wasn't theirs turn them into a sociopathic terrorist, there'd be very few buildings left at all.
Well, especially because he knew how to make bombs, but this time he's like, I'll just put a bunch of fireworks into the trunk of a car I know won't blow up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird stuff. We did a show on Forbidden Frontier about it, like covering the whole thing. And by the end of the 2-hour show that we did, we went through all the facts. we still didn't know what happened. Like, it's just like we're never going to get an answer because there's so much misinformation out there.
Propaganda, counter propaganda.
You're like, what do I do with this information? Because there's tracks from where he went from Colorado to Las Vegas, wrong Las Vegas. Then he went to the right Las Vegas. The whole way he was contacting Sean Ryan and Joe Rogan and all these people trying to get his dossier or whatever his manifesto was to them, and trying to meet up in Flagstaff along the way. But he was also messaging his ex-girlfriends, and like, it was just a lot of weirdness, like erratic behavior. So it's like, is it some kind of PTSD where he's just mentally unwell and he went and did all this stuff? Did he actually have some information about war crimes that we committed? And while he was trying to tell that, the government covered it up, and I don't know.
But also
It's
the
just so much
footage of
going
him
on.
supposedly shooting himself is bizarre.
Dude, literal frames of footage where his head moves and the bomb explodes. So it's like he's alive and it explodes at the same time. He can't shoot himself unless it's literally like he's got a gun in one hand and a bomb, like a trigger in the other one. He's like,
Not a gun, a 40 caliber.
50
caliber.
50 caliber.
Desert
And if you've
Eagle.
ever seen that you can go to YouTube, 50 caliber, point blank to like a watermelon. He's not going to have a head anymore. It's gone.
I can bench press over 500 pounds. I'm a pretty decent shot. And
brag.
just to put that back, Fort Bragg. If I shoot a Desert Eagle, I can't control the recoil. Can't do it.
It's
standing. Yes.
It's a big.
So like,
No, I've
if he was
shot one.
sitting down,
I'm with him.
I'm sure, you want that size caliber, to make no mistakes, but that thing's going to kick around. It's going to throw. That was the other part of it. So, I mean, this idea that it was just like a 9mm shoot fall, that thing's going to kick, man.
Well, it's not going to stop in his head.
Right. Yeah. It's gonna.
Didn't the bullet? Wasn't the bullet inside of him?
Is that right?
I don't know for sure.
I don't know exactly.
I don't know, and that's what I'm
It
wondering.
definitely wasn't out of the car, though.
Because it wasn't. That's what I mean, and it wasn't bouncing. I don't think it was bouncing around the car that I've heard. I could be wrong.
And the body was not like it was unrecognizable. This is from the sheriff, the sheriff that was on the scene. Unrecognizable body. He was not sure if it was confirmed his body or not.
So what are your
Like,
thoughts?
that's the last
on it?
thing I heard.
What's your instincts telling you? What are your...
I think it's bizarre. I think if he had something to do, why would you just blow up a Cybertruck in front of Trump Tower?
Yeah, when you could just tweet.
You could also blow up Trump Tower. I mean, he has that capability. You could also do it in a car you could drive into it.
Mm-hmm.
You have the ability to build a bomb. Why wouldn't you make one? It's suspicious. Now, he could be just mentally unhinged and everything could have happened as they say. But so far, just going with history and how sloppy everything's getting, I don't think it's the same as, okay, we didn't see the assassin going after Trump because the roof was on an angle.
Sloped.
Sloped. What roof isn't sloped?
Yeah.
It's how rain gets down it.
It was like just too slope, just a little bit.
Yeah.
A couple inches, could have slipped, could have hurt themselves.
But you would never assume in advance that a roof could have a slope to it.
Hey, neither of us are FBI.
And the other guy was camped out on the
leads,
14th green like he was hunting a buck. Like he was just like out there in a little nest.
Right.
Like we're gonna sweep the grounds.
Yeah, he just had like Elmer Fudd, just a little gun sticking out of a shrub.
I'm out here hunting rabbits.
And they're like, who shot Trump? You're like, the guy whose hair's dyed like the Ukrainian flag that's
And what's up with
running
that guy?
girlishly towards the freeway. What?
What happened to that guy? Where is he's alive?
Yeah.
They found pictures of him with like.
Where is he?
They found pictures with him with like Democratic senators and stuff that were prior to that.
And no information. What was weird about the truck attack is we instantly knew everything about this dude. Like we knew his house. There
Very
was
good
fucking
point.
reporters walking through his house, and it wasn't like cordoned
That
off.
was weird.
That was weird, dude.
Yeah.
And like she was like, "Here is his bomb making equipment. Here's the manifesto laid out perfectly on the counter." I was like,
Meanwhile,
"It smells like shit."
Butler assassin. Everything in that house was like wiped completely clean. There wasn't even silverware. There was nothing in that house. We know everything about Luigi Mangione. Like I could tell you what deodorant the guy liked to wear. We know everything about him. We know nothing about either of these assassins. It's pretty wild.
No, it's true. And even now, though, it's putting out like, okay, we found out that he's been cheating. So this is supposed to give some idea of the American public to kind of paint him as a scumbag, which just shows where our heads are so stuck in this like reality TV idea. It's like, okay, so he's a guy who messed around and this has something to do with building a bomb to blow. It's just one. I don't believe that any of this has to do with the other.
Yeah.
If you read the email and the manifesto that the 2 notes that were found on his phone, the charred phone, read both of those. They're online, and they're a little bit unhinged, but most of the things that he's saying like make sense. He's just saying like the government is compromised. There's incompetence in the military structure. The only thing that he outright said was we committed war crimes, and you can ask these different people that are in the military right now and
yeah, and then we covered him up.
That's what I think this whole thing is.
But going back to what David said, because that's very, very interesting, man. The concept of the guy blew up a car in front of a public building, not enough to paint him as a bad guy. He's also a cheater, right? And it's like, I remember doing the PBD podcast. We had Sammy the Bull on. I think I might have told you guys this.
Yeah, I remember.
And he's talking in detail about stalking a guy before he abducts him and murders him. And we're like, oh, cool story, Grandpa. And then he drops an N-bomb. And everybody's like, what did he just do? Like, oh my God, should we stop the pod? Do we keep going? What do we do? And what do we do? And it's all anybody would talk about. It's like, how could he say that? And it sat with me. And I'm thinking about it a lot recently because of what you're just talking about. And then also what's going on in the UK with the gang, I don't know if we can say the word
Rapist?
or not, but yeah, the
Drapers.
And now they 100% knew about it, and they 100% covered it up because
for years.
Because they just didn't want to be seen as being anti-Islamic or racist. And it's like, this is the drape of children.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be seen as the no white guy. So like murder, as a society, we're okay with it. Terrorism, it's okay. Drape, it depends on who does it, but can't cheat on your wife.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like the language
you can't
thing.
be,
Like you just said, this man's talking about hunting a guy, stalking him, and murdering him. Every movie you've ever seen about the mafia prior to 1995, they're dropping N-bombs like crazy. And then he does it on an episode, which, he's in a lot of those movies. Characters are based on him.
Yeah.
And you're like, can you believe
Oh my God.
that the head capo for John Gotti just said something racist?
Yeah.
Look, I knew he killed 13 people for sure that he was indicted on, but I didn't know he was a bigot.
Whoa. How could you platform this guy?
But I think
that
that
far.
derails people because they look at it and they go, my God, he was cheating on his wife. He had this apparent infidelity. He walked out of his house on Christmas. Like, well, clearly he turned a truck into a bomb.
At least he didn't take her on a boat.
Well, that's what I mean. There's worse things people have done on Christmas in relationships.
what I mean.
Yeah. She wasn't pregnant. He wasn't hitting her with an oar.
It's just a very smelly fucking situation, this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and again, I just go back to like, how cooked are we as a people where we're like, murder, meh, but he says a no word. This guy tried to blow up a building, meh, but he was cheating on his wife.
They've created this, though. It's the same as this DEI thing that now every company is getting rid of. Mm-hmm. Everybody's going like, yeah, sorry about that, because they went along with it for the longest time.
Whoopsie daisy.
To no profit to anything else. So that's all they've been doing is protecting this kind of thing that makes no sense. But they've brainwashed the public. And like you said, that's a very good point. For them to just come out with all the information about a guy, which they never do about anybody, like even the Luigi guy, you're going to tell me that this McDonald's wage worker just had the know-it-all to see somebody in a mask inside of this McDonald's in a different state and go, that's the person who shot.
Be that observant and and be able to recognize them on that, like, from what we saw of him.
Yeah, and I hate to be that guy, but let's keep it 100% real here. The Venn diagram of people who work at McDonald's and people who watch CNN is just two distinct circles. There's no overlap in that group there, right? So I mean, come on.
Maybe it's in the lobby. They're forced to watch it.
It's like
just
an
right there.
80s movie where it's like wanted.
Yeah.
Every video people
comes
saw
up instantly.
was a weird photo of him at a 7-Eleven hitting
They all
him.
look
Just
different.
a handsome smile. That's
Yes,
it.
that was it. And
all
the
look
one
different.
photo didn't, and he didn't even look like him in the other picture, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense.
Look,
Matrix is falling apart. He just leaves the bag on top of. There's nothing but piles of garbage in Manhattan. The whole place stinks like shit. Like there's nothing but. And it's just like, oh, let me just leave this where anybody will find it.
Right.
Like you could have walked down an alley and gave it to 18 different homeless guys and was like, here's $1. Each of you take one piece out.
down
of
a
this bag.
drain or
You
something
could have
like-
done anything.
Yeah.
The entire island of Staten Island is a garbage dump.
And he got away fine because no one's paying attention anymore.
No, everybody's doing this.
Yeah, they're staring at their phone, and then if
That's
they
it.
need to go back, they're like, "Did you save the thing that you were recording?" They're like, "I don't know, it might be on the cloud."
What thing?
I just saw a lady on fire. She wasn't even trying to put herself out. She's just done.
He was look at this video. This dog kicks this guy in the nuts.
Same with like that video too, where you have a lady burning inside of a subway, and you see two security cops cross each other.
Two New York City police officers.
Oh, are they police
they were
officers?
police
Two
officers.
police officers.
Yeah, they're not doing anything to help the person on fire.
Yeah. Like nothing. And the guy who lit her on fire is fanning the flames.
Yeah.
Nothing really fired me up more. I'll be honest. Like as a guy that grew up in New Jersey, Brooklyn, I work and I'm a pretty fired up guy. Dude, that had me the closest I've ever gotten to being Batman. I was gonna go and start instigating, man. But the truth is, like New York, we're talking about L.A. with Bass. New York's. People that don't go there, that have never gone there, have no idea what a jungle it's become. I'm a big dude. I'm kind of intimidating. I walk in New York to a 7-Eleven, go to get my coffee. Homeless guy opens the door like he's the bell guy. You know, he's like, he goes, not even like, can I get $1? He's like, let me get $1. I'm like, no. And then I walk past. I go, I get my Gatorade, I get my coffee. I'm one of the last guys on earth to pay cash. I go to pay cash. I turn to my right. He's standing right there. He's like, you got change now? I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I'm thinking in my mind as he does this, I'm like, a mother with her kids on vacation from Kentucky doesn't stand a chance in this city anymore.
No.
They don't stand a chance, dude.
It's all Venezuelan gangs in Times Square. Like when I first did Gutfeld, I went there and I was like, I'm wearing a Boblo shirt, which is an amusement park that used to be near Detroit. I'm like, I got to go get like a jacket or something. So I go to walk downtown, or I go into Times Square where there's like an express, and there's like 10, I don't know the word because it's not transgender, but they are like drag queens.
Okay, yeah.
And they're like standing out there handing out like pamphlets for a show, and I was like, "Oh, excuse me," but then I realized,
Daycare center, no doubt.
yes, it was yeah, it was outside Oshkosh, Baga. So I walked.
We're gonna
up.
read Huckleberry Finn.
Yes, and there's a chain on the door, and I'm looking around, and like most of those stores are just gone now, man.
On man.
And it's all like, again, yeah, Venezuelan gangs, all these people around. It's way too overcrowded with people for the kind of crimes that go on there. I'm like, you can go missing like that.
Yeah, they got congestion pricing. But they got congestion pricing to pay for the migrant crisis, but it's the migrants that are causing the congestion. And if you don't like it, take the subway, where you could or could not get lit on fire.
Yeah.
By a guy who was supposed to be deported in 2016.
Was deported.
Was deported.
And came back.
Yeah.
Which there's another guy
Jungle
who
Way
just
treatment,
pushed
sorry.
another dude in front of the subway. I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah.
That comes after he was arrested earlier in the day for trying to push somebody in front of the subway, was booked, let go on no bail, and then completed his side mission later in the day.
How do you
Gotham
let
City. It's literally the Gotham City is based off of New York in like the worst case scenario.
In the 70s.
It's what it is now. It is what it is now. And this is just one. This is like we've talked about L.A. We talked about New York. That's not Pittsburgh, Boston, Chicago.
Gary, Indiana.
Every single city is this way. Mm-hmm. And I think like we're past the point of like Americans and even people that live in these places, like they know. That's why we saw what happened in the election. That's why we were seeing more of these things like change, because people are like, okay, we're done with this.
Yes or no, though, because it still is that vestige of we can't be honest about what's happening because we're afraid to be racist. Like, let's
I
just
think
keep
the
it real.
government is. I think the government is still afraid. I don't think people are afraid anymore. I think people are okay with just being like, okay, we can make a distinction between racist people and being like, okay, these are illegal people that are crossing the border that are wrecking our city. I think people that used to be that way, used to be afraid, aren't as afraid anymore.
To let an
I think it's
attempted
moving.
murderer though out of jail the same
Officials.
day is nuts. You have to sleep over for a DUI to let them out of, and
That's
then
criminal negligence
insane.
again.
100% it is absolutely, Angela. Yeah.
And we'll see if when when the sheriffs get elected again, when the city officials get elected, will the people remember, don't goldfish it, remember that's what they did to you. These are the things that they agreed to do to you. Don't forget. Remember the lady getting caught on fire and the cops just passing. Remember that shit. We'll see. I feel like there's a push for that people are just fed up, and it's like all across America.
I hope you're right. Man.
I hope.
But for some reason, it seems like the people that have stayed in these cities that haven't moved to Texas, that the people that are fed up, I feel like left. And now the people that are left there, they're kind of swimming in the waters that they chose, man.
And there's a lot of people that can't. There's a lot of people that can't move at all. They're stuck.
I mean, the problem is it's a lot of it's happening everywhere, and a lot of people that is their home. And I mean, this is America. There's no reason why people should have to leave. There's no reason why that other people's poor choices of who you elect should have to drive you away from your home. There's no reason why anybody should be waiting for the subway and being afraid to be pushed in. And I was living in New York. I mean, as you know, this is during the knockout game. Mm-hmm. Going up and punching Asian people. Asian women were being raped and they weren't doing anything about it right there, like right in the middle of the subway. They were pushing Asian women in front of the subway trains.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's not an uncommon thing to happen in New York. The thing is nothing's been done about it for so many years because every single person who they've elected has allowed it to happen. And then you have Eric Adams step slightly out of line and look at the disaster that caused for him.
Yeah, they brought up a sexual assault allegation from like 1996 or something. Like Biggie and Tupac were still alive.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, you know, and it was just, again, so obvious, sloppy obvious that it was like, oh, he happened to get off the Democrat message for 2 seconds. And they were like, oh, by the way, in 1996, it was like, geez, Louise, people. Watch what they do to Fetterman. Watch what comes out about Fetterman. Now that Fetterman's...
He's starting to
watch
edge off the side.
Watch.
Yeah.
Turns out he's a genius.
All it took was one stroke.
Wow.
That's why I don't use my CPAP machine because, you know, one stroke away from genius.
Get you.
Yeah, that's why I do it. I'm also overweight. Well, let's get into a little more bright news because, you know, these people come here for a bit of a relief.
Good time.
So, have you guys heard of a little band called The Beatles?
Oh, I have.
Well, Ringo, Starr, and Paul McCartney reunited on stage to play Beatles classics. In London, during Paul's arena tour, the fans were shocked to see Ringo. He was announced as a special guest, and McCartney said, the one and only Mr. Ringo Starr, walking on stage to gigantic applause. Ooh. Starr embraced his former Beatle bandmate before saying, I want to tell you, I've had a great night tonight. Paul then said, you're only here because the others are dead. Then McCartney, 82, turned to 84-year-old friend and said, shall we rock? Making everybody cringe. They then began kissing, which escalated fast, and ended with Ringo bent over his drums while Paul finished on his cymbals.
Wait a second.
After that, they ran to the nearest barber shop and treated themselves to these Downsy bowl cuts. So,
Turn to tradition.
It's a lovely night.
it was a big night. They had not been on stage together in so long, and they, in front of an audience, reunited.
Poor Pete Best just sitting there by his phone. Any day now.
like, come on.
Any day.
Come on.
Are you going to invite me back ever?
I had a chance almost with you guys.
I'd like to rock.
Yeah, actually, you know, I was wrong.
Some time has passed.
You know, I think we can let it go now.
Reconcile.
It's my car won't start, and I need money.
Sleeping
Peace
on the
and
streets.
love.
I'm a bit of a pensioner now, ain't I?
I won't sign nothing for you.
Won't do it.
I live my whole life watching y'all do really well.
They can't get Sean Ono involved. He's got one of the best X accounts going, man. Old Sean Lennon Ono there, Sean Ono Lennon.
Oh,
They should have got Yoko. She's still rocking.
Yeah, she's good. I like her. My favorite song is.
Yeah.
I have
my
a
favorite
picture of them cuddling on Rolling Stone
Remember that
magazine.
video of where he's playing with Chuck Berry?
Chuck Berry.
And he's
One of
just
the best
like,
videos ever.
Yeah,
They cut her mic.
Yeah.
And she's still ululating or whatever it was.
whatever that
hell's this
sound,
bitch doing?
whatever it is before wings come out of her back. She just she grabs Chuck Berry with her talons and
Takes him
flies
away.
away.
Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah. It's like, what was that?
That's what started the
Paul
knockout
McCartney
game.
is like,
Somebody
abandoned.
showed the kids that. They were like, we got to make sure this don't happen in New
You have
York.
to kill anything that looks like that.
To stop that.
Yeah, the first time you
See
hear
this?
Yoko Ono, you just shove an agent in front of a train.
Can't tell which one's which. You have to do them all.
If you play her albums backwards, that's what it says, to light one on fire. Oh, Yoko, your love will bring me down. Won't bring me down.
Don't bring me down.
Pretentious is.
Don't bring me down.
Is Yoko? I just met her. I could have any woman alive, but I got an Asian boy.
I'll pick this one.
Can you imagine?
Are you sure about
can you
that?
imagine
Got one
how
with the
horrible
flattest-
she must have been? Where they were like, guys, all you got to do is stay together for like 3 hours a day,
Yeah,
and you'll make $1 billion. And they're like, no,
yeah.
I'm not doing it. I can't take another minute of it.
Yeah, they're like, look, they're like, horrible to get rid of this chick, or we will just go our separate ways. And Paul McCartney's like, I will make a band called Wings.
It will suck.
You will suffer through it.
Jet. Listen to what it's gonna sound like.
Listen to this.
Jet.
Ringo's like, I'm gonna have a whole orchestra. Hey,
Shut up, Pete. We already kicked you out.
shut up, Pete Jr.
Shut up, Pete West.
You and your Lloyd Christmas haircut for the last for all of the 80s.
This is a band meeting, Ringo. You're not invited.
But I wrote a song. I don't know. But I wrote a song.
I wrote a song.
I wrote a song.
Obadi.
George Harrison.
The worst one.
George Harrison is sitting there going like, I let Eric Clapton just bang my wife whenever he wanted,
Yeah.
and I can't stand being around this one.
It's like, oh, I hope somebody shoots me.
Oh shit!
Dude, I just Paul McCartney who's just had that reckless haircut.
Since we're doing conspiracies today, do you think that assassin was actually for Ringo and it was Pete Best this
shit.
whole time? And he was like,
Probably.
"No, wrong Beatle,
Yeah.
But who would want to? Who would care enough?
abort."
How would you like to be the drummer for the most famous band of all time, and everybody still thinks you're a joke?
I know. It's,
Like they still think he's
actually
bad.
good.
they made fun
Of
of.
course, he's good. He's had so much practice.
They made fun of him on Doug Funny.
Yeah.
like in the Nickelodeon show Doug, he was a joke.
Right. Like this was even after he's lost his friends to death, they're still talking about how bad he is.
Ringo. Sorry.
They bring out Ringo, and everybody in the crowd was like, "Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, Ringo's still alive."
This guy just auditioned.
I have a theory. It's because his name is so.
Yeah, it is
How
bad.
dare? Okay, look here.
It sounds like he belongs in a circus.
Will Hunting and Ringo Starr. These are both great names.
No, they're not.
Ringo Starr.
Ringo Starr.
That's a rock star name right there. Ringo Starr.
No, it's not. You had to put
Starr
Star
in his
in
name.
it. You put Star in it.
That's why it's great.
Ringo Starr sounds like
so if Paul's name was Paul Bass, that would be good.
That'd be great.
No, it wouldn't.
Ringo
His name's
Starr.
not. It's not
Remember
Ringo
Chuck-
Drum.
You remember
it's
Chuck-
Ringo Starr.
Ringo Drum is stupid.
I agree. It should be Ringo Starr.
Paul Stadium Tour.
Ringo Starr sounds
Paul
like
Rockman.
it would be the name that the guy who
Ringo
was in a
Starr?
Kiss cover band calls himself.
Yeah, bro. I'm
Ringo Starr Lord or something
Yeah.
like that. Like, you know?
Yeah.
It'd sit there and like, oh, what's your name? Paul Stanley. No, it's not. It's Ringo Starr Lord.
That's what I'll do.
Because it's better.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Now come meet
Great.
my Asian girlfriend who's got no shape.
No talent.
None
My
whatsoever.
communist Asian girlfriend.
Yes, she just check out her art. That looks like she's been doing it with her feet and crayons.
You know,
Could you imagine?
Yes. Imagine all the people that would be happy if
you ever
I
see what's his
left
name?
you.
Quincy, what very famous.
Jones?
Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
He talked about the Beatles, and he said that they came in to do a session there, and they couldn't get any of the songs, so he calls it after like 8 hours, and they're like, just take a night, we'll come back and look at it again tomorrow. And they're like, all right. And he calls in a whole bunch of other musicians, and he redoes all of their music, and then they come in the next day, and Paul's like, well, let's just listen to it back one more time, and it sounds great. He's like, well, this sounds fine, why do we need to redo it? He's like, you know what, you're right, I think we're good today. And then he never told him that he had completely just redone it with session musicians. Actually, you can look it up. It's a true
That's
story.
hilarious. He's like, yo, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Dude, that interview,
Didn't know I had that
it was
in
like an interview that he gave, like right. I think he died. I'm not sure, but like he threw so many strays in that interview. He was like, oh yeah, and Richard Pryor used to get banged by the Godfather, and I was like, what now?
What?
You
Excuse
just no, the actor that played the Godfather, him and Richard Pryor, everybody knew about it. It was like,
What?
Marlon Brando? What are you talking about? He's like, yeah, and the Beatles sucked, and it was like, whoa.
Go back.
We're skipping some stuff here, man. Yeah, he's like, yeah, he got Pam Grier sick because he used to put cocaine in his, in the foreskin there, and it's like, what? Can we just pick one topic, please?
Yeah.
I want to talk about all of this.
I know he did.
Well, we do have to get out of here. We have to go to a show and do that, but we appreciate you all for sticking around. And yeah, this is all allegedly.
Yeah, of course.
Quincy Jones.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's probably spot on.
It's a myth.
But we do want to bring. Where can we see you, Gerard?
Since I'm going to drop in on your show tonight, Dave, until you pay off the debts.
That's going to be a long time.
You can see me at, I'm going to be in Arkansas on the 18th with the great Carol Ann Miljavik. You can see me in D.C. on the 20th if it doesn't blow up or anything. And then you can see me at the Stress Factory February 13th. Very excited about that. And I'm going to be with Ginger Billy in Chattanooga January 31st. So any of those shows, go to Gerard versus Evil and all that stuff will be there. It'd be awesome to see you guys out there.
Delicious.
Yeah. So if you're there for the inauguration,
I am.
you should cover it.
I'm
Let's go to.
trying to, yeah. Oh, well, I had pitched it, but I don't think it got the old
Well, I'm gonna catch
the old
it.
hee ho.
The end of the world. All right. Who should the next Prime Minister of Canada be? QB.
Trailer Park Boys,
Spot on.
obvious.
Angela.
Ryan Reynolds' ego.
Oh, that would do good.
Too large for the.
What you got?
Shorzy from Letterkenny.
That's
Give your balls
solid
a tug,
one.
bug.
It's a ballsy one.
I gotta rewatch that one.
I'm gonna say the Mackenzie brothers from Strange Brew.
Strange brew.
Get what I want inside of you. Is that the right?
Yeah.
That's the policy.
Oh, Canada.
That could be their new
Anthem,
anthem.
Yeah. Can I do John Candy from Canadian Bacon too? We have two of them?
Bring it back to life.
Dude, I would love that.
You're talking
John
like
Candy.
dig them out of the ground and put them up some strings or something.
I think so.
Nickelback.
Oh, yeah, the lead singer.
Lead singer in Nickelback.
Yeah.
He could be there.
Beaver.
Yeah.
Could be Beaver.
Canadian Beaver.
Barth from You Can't Do That on Television. The beaver in the chair right there.
Just a bottle of maple syrup.
All
Do a
right,
better
everybody. Tune in tomorrow. It'll be better.